channel, guys. So just had a subscriber ask about how I glue magnets on the shell and get everything set the way it needs to be set. So a few things you're going to need. There's a few things that I use: denatured alcohol to clean all the surfaces, and some shoe goo or B7000, some sort of contact adhesive. Gorilla Glue also makes this clear grip, pretty good product. And a few different companies make a few different magnet kits that really takes the guesswork out of it. DriftaHolics is one of them. TG Super makes this magnet mount kit very similar to DriftaHolics. DriftaHolics a little sexier with that aluminum shaft there, but basically all it is a grub screw and a shaft that moves in and out, and you know, you just move it up and down where you kind of need it. But I'll say this in talking about this: in 99% of my experience, your suspension will work on your chassis better if the bottom rockers of the car are very close to being flush with the bottom of the chassis plate. Now, that's not in every case, but in most cases, you'll see the bottom rockers of my shell being, this one's really close. In my experience, that allows your suspension to move like it should, and the car to be sitting close enough to the ground to actually look realistic. So anyways, what I'll do is I will take the magnets, the little concave portions are usually what snaps to it. Well, first, even before I do that, I will actually put the shell on the chassis, and I'll flip it over, and I'll kind of see where that bottom chassis plate is in relation to the bottom of that chassis. And you know, as it's sitting down, you can kind of tell how many shims it's going to need in the back. If you don't have the adjustable body mount kit, you can get these little shims. Every store we deal with sells them in some way, shape, or form. You can get them from GT55, you can get them from Rcsupremacy, you can probably get them from Wolfram. I don't know, I haven't checked, but you can get these things anywhere. So get you some shims, and when you come back around to the other side, add the shims where they might need to be. I've actually got two MA shock standoffs or whatever they're called on that one. It ended up being what worked. And a couple of other magnets with a round head screw in it, which actually makes for a good, you know, snap with a magnet. Stays in place better, let's put it that way. Okay, it's trial and error. You gotta pick them up. Of course, all the magnets need, let me put this down, all the magnets need to be on the posts. Okay, technical difficulties, sorry y'all. Make sure they're all snapped down. I'll even go a step further with these magnets with the big holes in them, and I will take little pieces of plastic. How many of y'all got some of these extra bags? Yeah, I got a couple. Anyways, this is literally how I do this too, no lie. Because I have tried to pluck my magnets off this thing before, and the magnet be glued to the chassis as well. So what I will do is I'll put a piece of plastic down, and I will snap the magnet on. Right there. That just makes sure that the glue stays on the magnet and only the magnet. So that's another step I'll kind of do. But anyways, magnets on all the posts. trial and error. Try to get your bottom part of your rockers close, flush to the bottom of the chassis plate as possible. When you drive, after you can glue the magnets on this thing and drive it and see that the suspension is not working quite like you want it to, and you think it maybe needs to go up or down, you can actually adjust that after this thing is glued. Because once those magnets are in the same spot in relation to the shell, you know what I mean, you can go up or down with either one of them. So if you don't have them in the perfect spot in the very beginning, you know, it's not a big deal, but you need to be close. Always put your battery in your chassis to weight it down like it's going to be when it runs. So that's, you know, that's basic tuning stuff. That's how you get your suspension close to begin with. So take your magnet. Ooh, I had that snap on there. Snap them all on there. Clean them off with denatured alcohol, the tops of it. Do the little, if you want to, and you don't think you're going to get messy with glue. If you think you're going to get messy, I suggest doing something like that, you know. I will dollop shoe goo or any kind of B7000 or this Gorilla Glue clear grip. Daub it on the magnet. After I've cleaned a little section off where the magnets are going to go, you can almost see where I cleaned the paint off right there with the denatured alcohol. I still about missed it, but you can see where I cleaned it. Worked in the back. But clean off that section with denatured alcohol. Once again, be careful. You can't screw your paint job up with it. Set the body down. Get that out of the way. Let me get the extra magnet off. Alright. Magnet in the car now. Alright. Set it down. I use my fingers to kind of judge where the tires are, especially if the tires hang out just a little bit or they're underneath. You can kind of judge the distance between your fingers if you touch it. Okay, I do the same thing in the front. Now try to get the front end as straight as possible. Some of these chassis have some toe out. This one does. But you can kind of feel the same place on the wheels and feel where they're at. Set the thing down, and if it feels to me that it's not going down, you can let go of it right after you set it down and see. But if it looks like it needs to go down more and it's not going down more because the suspension, the glue's not getting mashed down hard enough, I've got a few different things, but find you a stand. I can do it with this one too. See how the wheels don't hit on the sides. And, you know, if you've done the same thing on your bottom plate of your chassis to the bottom rockers, then put you a little rag or something, you know, to keep from scratching your model up, and set you something heavy on it. Load out here something like Just Around the Bush's Ultimate Micro Drift Tire Changer, and kind of babysit it for a little while. You can still feel the wheels on it. They're still right there where they're supposed to be, but set something on it. You might have to do that with the, you might not. This one I don't think I had to, but stay with it for a minute or two. Okay, so this shoe goo, really good stuff. You can also get your magnets back out of it later on if you decide to swap shells. It's a good part about this. You just kind of have to work at it. Longer it's been set on there, the harder it gets. So you might have to take a few picks or something to get underneath the magnet, but you can peel them off and reuse the magnets. But set it on there, babysit it for a little while. That shoe goo almost has a memory to it. So if you've let it sit for a minute and you decide that the body needs to move a little bit, you can still move it after the fact, you know, within an early time frame. But if you just move it over and think it's good right there and let go of it and walk away, that glue's got like a memory. It'll pull it back over there where it was originally. So you might stay here with it for a little bit and babysit it, but it glues fairly fast, I'm not gonna lie. You'll be pleasantly surprised at how fast shoe goo will actually set up to where you can pluck the shell off of it. Sometimes one magnet comes off with it, and you're like, and you got to do it again for a minute. It's no big deal. Babysit it for a little while, and when it dries, good to go. You can do your final adjustment if you need to go up a little bit more or down a little bit. You know, you've got a shell that will tuck up in the fender wells. You might want to go lower so it looks all cool, like it's lower to the ground. But anyways, I hope that helps. Here's my Rhino for the guy that was asking about how I did it. I got super lucky with this thing. All right, I didn't even know this thing had magnets with the kit. It was actually stuck to the lid of the tin, and didn't even know. I saw a post and was like, huh? Went back and looked in the box and was like, I'll be dang, I do have them. But I set these magnets down. Actually, Spirit Project, shout out to Spirit Project. He sent me this shell because I had trouble getting a shell off somebody else. Thing's gorgeous. C7 Corvette. It's almost like it was made for this chassis. It's kind of weird. Kind of weird that he sent this about the time this thing showed up. But anyways, I literally just set the magnets on that thing right out of the box. No spacers underneath the magnets or nothing. It's the first time that's ever happened. And set that shell down on it, and wow, it's perfect. Like, I can't say enough about it. Like, it was made for it. Made for it. Anyways, so I hope that helps. I've got another chassis hopefully coming in the mail eventually. It's been on order since February. But anyways, if it gets here, I'll have one more shell to glue. I'll try not to buy no more of these things this year. Dang it. I've got too many. I ain't making no promises though. Anyways, I got this shell for Spirit Project also. So if the red D24 gets here ever, this is going on it. And when it comes, and when I get ready to glue it on, I'll do a complete video of how I start to finish, of how I glue it on there. It's a quick enough process I could probably video. So anyways, hope that helps, guys. Like, subscribe, tell us in the comments how bad I'm doing. And anyways, hope y'all have a good day, man. Get you a battery plugged in, get you a slide or something, catch you a smile or two.